Every year Jake got his timing wrong. When the annual Christmas Eve blackout came, he was always Mr. Wrong Place, Wrong Time. He just started to take a leak against Agnes Smith's fence, and now the blackout ensured he couldn't see a friggin' thing. The piss was alternately running down his leg and splashing off his shoes into the powdery snow. He was in big trouble. Home was still a whole street away. Why did he agree to this last fatal drink? Madness. Every year the same dumb bravado. Oh, they'll never catch me. He sipped himself up and stood perfectly still, praying he wouldn't hear the high-pitched sound of doom. Last year the 10-strong choir had sung Slade's Merry Christmas, Everybody. 2 broken ribs were the outcome. He was particularly dreading Wizard's I Wish It Could Be Christmas every day. He'd probably be hospitalized for weeks. He felt so fragile. Who wants to be in an emergency room on Christmas Day? Could he merit into the shadows, cover that final couple of 100 meters like the stealthiest cat? Then, Christ almighty, a loud cough. Jake spun round, and there they were, the multi-ethnic choir of orphans, each resembling a perfect angel. Monsters. They were holding their torches at chest level, pointing the beams straight upwards so that their faces looked otherworldly. What torture did they have in mind this year? Of course, like all angels, they were messengers, but no one wanted to receive the message that they were here to deliver. Yet it wasn't these choristers in their white winged costumes and cute halos who would land the crippling blows. Where were they? Jake glanced around in desperation. Flickering candles that cast the softest of the festive light illuminated the windows of the surrounding homes. He longed to be safely inside. His mom would be standing at the bay window, wondering where he was, praying he was safe. Why did he have to get involved? From 11 o'clock until midnight, everyone knew there was only one place to be, indoors, because the streets were their territory for 1 hour on Christmas Eve, the dark hour. The angelic choir broke into their first song, God Spare Us. Greg Lake's I Believe in Father Christmas. They said there'll be snow at Christmas. They said there'll be peace on earth. A violent shudder raked Jake's body. Only one song could have spelt bigger trouble. Bing Crosby and David Bowie's deadly duet, Peace on Earth, the Little Drummer Boy. You had to be thinking body bags if you were lucky enough to hear that one. Jake fell to his knees. Please, no! I'm begging! But the choir simply sang more loudly. He was a goner. They would be alerted to where he was. They'd emerge from the shadows, full of their Christmas Eve mulled wine, followed by the inevitable peach schnapps shooters to sharpen their aggression. He wanted to push the angels to the ground, grind their faces into the snow, then rain snowballs packed with ice down their halo heads. They were the heralds of... And there they were, finally, wearing those bright glow orange zoot suits with luminous green night cravats. There were 5 of them, real bloated like they'd been in a high-flab, anti-health farm in London for the last week. The word millionaire was stamped in electric blue shine writing on every inch of their suits. Gold Sacks Boys. Every year their blood-sucking merchant bank gave them a leather sack full to the brim with Krugerrand and told them to go out and make sure the world knew exactly who they were. Light up the dark hour, boys and girls. Show the poor what they're missing. Restore the natural order of masters and slaves. "Guess what, Durser?" the leader of the Gold Sackers said over the strains of Greg Lake's lyrics, Agromax style, taking no prisoners and all that. "This is a reverse mugging." Jake, standing up straight, took a slump of his can of stomach pump extra strong lager, and laughed nervously. He decided he had no option but to give it the big bluff. "I thought for a moment you ponces said you were going to mug me." "Not a mugging, numballs!" The fattest of the millionaires came back 10-4, cool and creepy. "A reverse mugging." Jake was seeing stacks of puzzle cubes in his mind. "What do you, mean?" His mouth was going into a stutter action. "I've never heard of you know what I mean, a reverse mugging?" "That's because we only just invented it, prick." The Gold Sackers all sniggered and pointed at their shine writing on the suits to emphasize their fat catness. Jake's brain was booking serious overtime. "Let me get this, straight. I'm the poor guy without any money, and you're the rich guys, and you want, me to give you my money?" "Good try, Muppet, but we're 180 degrees in the negative." The head honcho hard-talked and signaled to his colleagues as the choices sang, and even more lustily. "And I believed in Father Christmas, and I looked at the sky with excited eyes." The 5 millionaires surrounded Jake. Act 1. Knuckle-duster punch to the solar plexus, doubling up agony drill. Act 2. Karate chop to the neck, swinging barogue's parabolic trajectory. Multiple direct hits to the groin, tears and fears going down all the way. Blackout curtains closing round his eyes. The millionaires lifted Jake off his feet and launched him head-first into a puddle, where 3 glow-in-the-dark used condoms were floating on the surface. The Gold Sackers formed a circle around their victim, their orange bodies inflating and deflating like bad wheezes, and put the boot in. Afterwards they unzipped themselves and urinated over him. Then came the final touch, the piece de resistance. They took out their bags of gold, counted 5 coins each, and threw them at Jake's prostrate body. "So now you know, dumbass," the fattest man hissed. "A reverse mugging is when the rich guys kick the bluebells out of the poor guy, then give him their money. Now go find a job, cunt. Oh, and Merry Christmas." The attack was over. The reverse muggers left, laughing all their way to their parked flash cars. The snow was falling more heavily, swinging in the wind. The angelic choir reached its crescendo. "They said there'll be snow at Christmas. They said there'll be peace on earth. Hallelujah, Noel, yet heaven or earth, the Christmas you get you deserve." With that they turned and walked away, searching for fresh prey for their dark paymasters. Bastards! Jake lay still in the water, too bruised to move, strapped to an aches and pains matrix, all scratchy and Heath Robinson. His mouth had been burst open, and he spat out some blood. "Merry Christmas," he repeated as the snow peppered to the water. He imagined he could see ice crystals forming in the little pool. Would he be encased in a block of glittering ice, shining from the inside with its gorgeous gold treasure? At least he could afford to buy his mom a nice present in the Boxing Day sales now. The truth hit him like a slap in the face. He was in a shit-forsaken world, and he'd just reached rock bottom. Or rather, the particularly nasty crap under the rock at the very bottom. That was when it happened. The beginning of the strangest thing. "Screw the feel-good factor," a voice whispered. "The time has come for something different. The world is crying out for our medicine." Jake raised his head, fearing the millionaires and their evil choir of familiars had returned. But no one was there. "Don't you see?" the strange voice continued. "It's time to spread the feel-bad factor. Feeling like shit is going to be the ultimate fashion statement for the next year." Jake groaned and pushed his face closer to the surface of the puddle. He saw a little chunk of shimmer light falling from a candle in the window of the hooker's apartment. The image wavered, and was replaced by that of well-scrubbed faces. He looked up and found himself in the unmistakable presence of two do-gooders, Jehovah's Witnesses by the look of them, carrying neon Bibles. "Hello. Have you had a personal crisis recently?" The taller of the clean young men stretched out a hand towards Jake. Jake declined the offer and continued to lie in the puddle, watching flicker trick red water entering the opening of the can of lager he drunk from earlier.